Okay, y'all. Good morning or good afternoon. I'm gonna try to make this quick. I got something to say. So, as you know, or if you don't know, um, as I began to look at my calendar today, I noticed or just acknowledged something that years ago probably would never care for or acknowledge. But as I've been uh committed to reading the entire Bible this year, and running through Exodus, I have come across like Passover. And so, to be honest, you know, you don't really know until you know. And so, like, when you understand like the Bible and just the culture and stuff like that, it was during that time, it just excites me just to come across things and be able to recognize them and just, everyday life. And so, with, around this month, in the Jewish culture, they celebrate when God delivered the Israelites out of Egypt and stuff like that when they were there for 430 years. And so it's so cool to know that like back then, like this would be around the time that it actually happened, which is another interesting fact. But anyways, as I was just thinking about that this morning, like I just started to just thank God. Like, I don't know, like, of course, thanking God every day, but just like thinking about how like, wow, God literally did this great act, like, um you know years ago, the first Passover that happened, and it's like generations down the line, people still like observe Passover to remember, just the great things God has done over the years. And so as I'm thinking about Passover and stuff like that, and I'll attach like Passover, you can go read in the Bible, you can search it, Google, whatever. And so as I'm thinking about Passover and stuff, it just causes me to just think about how, like, God prepared them to exit after they had known Egypt for so many years, been enslaved, hard labor, all of that, just mistreated, and how God just, prepared them to exit and all of that. And so then it made me think about like us as believers in Christ and how we don't have to observe Passover, but we can choose this day to just admire not only God delivering the Israelites out of Egypt, but then think about the things that God has delivered us from, And one of the themes that I get from Exodus is God being a deliverer. And so then we can just think about the things that God has provided us exits out of, like, like he exited, he led them out of Egypt, y'all, excuse me. But he led them out of Egypt. And so then we can think about, okay, applying this to our life to just really thank God about just, providing the exit of sin and spiritual death and separation from him through Jesus, who is the one who fulfilled the Passover for us. And then we can think about, our lives before we were living for Christ and just how God provided an exit and delivered us from those things, right? And just then, as I think about, just my life and the things that I've been through, I could think about just the things that God has been a deliverer in my life through bad relationships or just toxic relationships, just sin, sexual immorality, you know, lust, shoot, depression. Like, he's giving me an exit to have a sound mind. Like, he's giving me the activities of my limbs. Like, I'm not sick or I'm not in a grave. So he's giving me the exit of to no longer be bound to sickness or illness. Like, he's giving me just, these last 3 weeks of my life, to be honest, have not been easy. It's been rough, been going through spiritual warfare and just a lot of just suffering in this season of my life. And so just, being able to testify of God delivering me from even that, just overcoming temptation and, old patterns and stuff like that. And so then it's just like, it just, though I don't observe Passover, but I can still choose this day to, celebrate and just magnify God to be a deliverer, like how his great deliverance, or just his great acts of deliverance happened then, but they're still happening now, right? And so then we can just think about just the things that we go through, the things that we've been through, the things that we may go through, to just be rest assured, be encouraged that, you know, the God of the exits is of that time is still the God of the exits today, that he still provides exit. He still prepares us to leave things to be brought to new things, that he still, you know, is the God that frees us from, and has freed us from spiritual bondage and sin and lust and fornication and whatever you're going through, and that, you know, he can still do that to this day. He can still do that today. And so I don't know, like, just thinking about all of that, it just caused me to just go into this just ponder of just thinking about all the things that God has delivered me from, and has delivered people from over the years, and just has filled me with so much joy today. And so choose this day to think about all the things that God has delivered you from. And though we don't celebrate Passover, use this day to celebrate God is a deliverer. That's all I got to say.